Sure. Welcome to the world of Ruettram, where lots of things happened last game, but as we have been introduced to 2 druids, it is about time that you have an understanding of what the druids mean to the Ruettram village and the entire area. The druids came together with the monks and the rangers of some of the more older, what would be considered older religions, and made their own faction. This faction is called the Monastery of the Grove. There are 4 main hubs of this faction, and each of them control either the north, south, east, or west provinces of nature. They're there to help the farmers keep the crops going, the people happy that are kind of forgotten about outside of the major cities, and keep the very fragile ecosystem that would come about from all of these people being stuck in one place for over 2,000 years going. So with that, we have Henry, who to the order would be a prodigy. His mother was a bloodline of a spirit, and his father was a bloodline of a earth elemental. So he's very powerful in what he does, which is manipulate the forest around him. And so he, in all aspects of this area, would be considered kind of like your almost head honcho, but not quite master of like a guild, but kind of just below, but taken just as seriously. So the fact that a young upstart druid tried to pull rank on him or prove that he is who he says he is kind of rankled him, because he's kind of out in the world doing his own thing, and very few people ever question what his ability is. So as we go back to our game, and we remember that last time we had an ambush at the end of our little adventure of trying to find out what was going on at this farmstead. Far to the east, in the capital of the Ruettram Valley, the marshal is receiving bad news. He's pacing back and forth in his apartments, and the marshal is the highest member of the Council of Strength. And he never thought he would see the day that his name would be put into the Chronicles. He had seen other names of marshals in that book, but never in his wildest dreams did he think his name would be one of the ones added to the list of marshals that had to strike one of the 9 pillars from the council. Meanwhile, as our party is recovering from their own encounter, Henry, the stalwart druid of the forest, first son of Gaia, is fighting for his life against a bear he cannot speak with. And his only thoughts are, where in the forest are the Forsaken Guards? So we come back to our game as on the farmstead, and we left off at the end of a battle. So let's start with
I was praying.
Arnor.
Arno.
I just picked Arnu.
Arnu.
Let's go with you. What would you like to do? You just got done a fight. You're a little hurt.
Okay. First, I'd like to correct a mistake. The war flail I was using is a 2-handed weapon. I can't use it with a shield, so it's going to be sword and board, like shield and sword, or this 2-handed war flail by itself. Apologies for having the juiced AC and all the damage as well. I think it was putting, I don't know what happened with the dice mechanic. It was pumping out 2d12, and I think it's only a d10 weapon. The fans were quick to point that out, and we do apologize. But look, we're learning. As far as what Arnu was doing, he had taken a knee and began a prayer, a actual passing beyond to to the great wolf spirit, acknowledging that they've been tested and hopefully it has been pleased. This changes his view of the newcomers greatly because he believes the great wolf spirit not only tried to test him, he managed to protect his charge, but a strange druid, ranger, and bard who he just met more than held their own against, the servants of the great spirit. So he, gotta say, respect. I think you'll see an attitude change. And then he turned the wolves into soup.
Okay, so is that something you actually want to do, or are you just
I will
going around?
If we got to get up and move on or whatever, sure. But whatever initial stages of like hanging these suckers by that tree upside down to bleed out, or
survival check for me, please. Just a base one, 10 or better, please.
Sure. Get something going here so that the meat doesn't spoil. The great wolf spirit provides combat and dinner.
Dallin, our trusted bard, what are you doing, sir?
Talking with Mr. Stoneleaf, getting any interesting tales that have happened in the last little while, maybe sharing some information from my travels with him. Just doing the bard schmooze.
The bard schmooze.
Squeaking by with an 11 survival.
All right. Yeah, you managed to get yourself your 3 wolf skins, wolf pelts. If
Sweet.
You have enough time to get them quick cured, you could pack them up and throw them on your horse.
I don't expect to have like that much done in the moments that we have. I'm just...
Yeah, well, you've got 3 hides. What you want to do with them after that would be good.
Okay.
So let's just keep going down the list. Douglas is, or Faroum, how about you? One of you. Or Jessica, how about Jessica? What would Jessica like to do? Oh, okay, Faroum.
Just curious, if my knowledge of the wolves in this area, is this common for a pack that's outnumbered to attack?
If there was certain circumstances that met, you would have to think a little bit on this. So give me, how about a lore check?
Certainly.
A nature, or maybe of the animal kingdom, whatever lore you feel fits the bill.
I gotta give a nature check. Soon as I get to the... Yeah, there we are.
It feels good. It feels natural. We had combat.
Ooh, nice. 21.
Yes. So there's a few things that could allow this to happen. One, the amount of dead animals and the smell, because all the cattle has been killed. All of it, there's the blood stains are still there after a few days. The smell's still there. You can see the pile off in the distance. It's rank. You're downwind. Wolves were definitely coming because of the smell. You have a very good feeling for that because they were healthy looking. They didn't seem to be scrappy or foaming at the mouth. They were just going after the food, and you were between them and it. All right. Who have I missed? Jessica, would you like to
Jessica
choose
is just
something?
going to make sure everybody is, if anybody's wounded, that they get medical attention.
All right. I think there's a few of you who might need the time to try to do a heal check, possibly.
Pick me. Pick me.
You have a volunteer to be tested on. I mean, healed. To heal.
Well, testing is the way it's going to go because I don't have a very big medicine, but I...
No big medicine? All right.
So I will give it my best shot. Maybe.
So
There we go.
roll a heal check. Find the skills.
9. Sorry, Corey.
All right. Yeah, that actually might have hurt him. I've got to find the skill section. 'cause there's
Is
just
it
too many
15?
booklets. Yeah, that would be
So
the,
a 5 would hurt him.
would hurt him. All right, it's 10. That's correct. I thank you for reminding me. 10 is the magic number. Go above 10 or below 10.
Yes.
Critical failure
Okay.
or critical success. So
Well, I can't help him anymore for an hour anyway. So if
So
anybody
you
else has
you basically
medical,
just like pat him on the shoulder and
Yeah.
say you're doing good.
you'll be all right, buddy.
Suck
doing
it up,
good.
princess.
right. Right.
You're actually a little warm on the mic, Jared, if you want to back off a bit.
Yep, we'll do. All right. So anybody else have something they would like to do? Anything?
I can do
anything?
some healing as well. I am
I mean,
trained in
because let's
medicine.
see here. What are people's health situation? Well,
I'm down 8.
all right. So you got a few more bites into you than you wanted to.
I think one is more than enough bites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let alone when you have to start. Well, how many was it? Well, let me think. It's not the correct answer.
All right. I'll try a roll to see if I can help him.
That
17.
looks like it might do that.
And proficiencies.
Why does it say game paused? So that,
Oh, because I hit the space bar.
oh, okay.
That could be.
So
It shouldn't affect anything right now.
Okay.
I do not see my token.
You
Oh,
are in the
Stand
camp.
by me.
That's
If
good.
you see the
Yeah, so go to the farm page up top.
farm page at the top.
So what does heal do? It's like 1d
2d8.
2d8.
Treat wounds, medicine, Pathfinder 2nd edition, 2d8.
All right.
Oh.
We literally did this 2 nights ago streaming with Joe, and I remembered the rules.
I know.
Haha. No, I'm just
I know.
I'm not bashing
I know.
you, dude. I'm just like, I'm so happy I remembered something.
All right, so you get 5 hit points back. Any pluses on that? Just straight up 2d8.
Just a 2d8.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, just 2D8.
So you may recover 5 points of health, Sir Douglas.
Ah, thank you, good sir.
All right. So you've all dealt with the wolves. Do you remember why you were here to begin with? That's the real question. Combat can do that to people. You know, you've been in combat, you've killed your enemy, and
Yeah, wasn't it?
Our
all
news-
all the livestock were like
Yeah.
suddenly killed.
Well, we were supposed to see them.
they were already killed. You came here to investigate why,
Yeah.
The cause.
the cause of it.
I had no idea.
Wolves, case closed.
Yeah, I had no idea that the first encounter was going to be wolves, but it's like we were supposed to go see the mayor, and I'm like, nah, let's go this way. Now there's wolves, so I'm like, oh, the great wolf spirit. Yeah, this is where we're supposed to be. Not gonna let.
He's the chosen one. How can you tell? They're biting him.
They're marking him.
That's kind of what happened.
That smell of ammonia. They're marking him too.
Does anybody else need any healing, love?
No, I think our druid friend did a good job tanking.
All right.
A druid tank. Who knew?
So, yeah.
It wasn't a willing experiment, but it
Kind of.
Oh, and I'll
actually with a drink.
walk around and recover my arrows.
I was
there you go.
kind of.
all right.
Oh, and
Survival
Can you take
check.
some of that, Mitch?
ammunition cannot be replaced in this. Man, I got slammed with that the other day.
I call that bogus. That's
What?
bogus.
Yeah, like if you have a shuriken or something that's like metal and it is the weapon, sure, but ammunition is destroyed in 2nd edition
Oh, okay. Well,
until
then there you go.
until the new equipment guide probably comes out, and then they're like, oh look, durable arrows. But
And in all of the different varieties.
hey,
of
the
durable.
fact that we have some satellite rules lawyers constantly like leaving comments on the pages and stuff does save a lot of reading. So I'm going
All
with
right.
it.
So you were in the process of trying to figure out what creature actually attacked all of this.
Yeah.
Would the druid or ranger like to see if they can equate what they just fought with the creature or creatures that actually damaged all the livestock and the buildings.
Yeah, I'll go check out the livestock and see what I can kind of discover from that. See if we can find any clues.
I need some slow jazz, some investigation music.
Yeah, it all goes monotone,
Hmm.
and it goes like heavily shaded, black in contrast.
Exactly.
Don't know how I ended up looking at this pile of dead cows.
I will.
Moo. Moo.
I will follow
Oh, that's
the
good.
the ranger and aid him in his investigation by casting guidance upon him.
All right. +1
+1 to skill check.
skill
There you go.
check. Go
All right.
for it.
Oh wait. Oh, click the wrong button. Okay, there. Yeah, it was at a post in post. I got 10.
Well,
That's not
it's
including the plot that
good.
gave me, but-
It's not great. You do make the slight notice that claw marks are definitely a few sizes difference. Still could be a big ass wolf, a dire wolf. It could be that theoretically, sure. You know, you're thinking bigger wolf. We haven't killed the big wolf. We need to go kill a bigger wolf.
All right. So similar, but not the same.
Similar, but not the right size.
Yeah. Could I make a nature check to identify that if I know those kind of things?
Yes, but that'll take you some time. You're gonna have to
Ponder it. chew
ponder
over.
it, take it a little. So give me, go ahead and give me another lore check or nature, whichever one you would like to do.
All right.
You're going to take some time on it.
Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a 1. Yeah,
That's
this is a toughie.
on second thought, this isn't a dire wolf. This is a gargantuan
Badger.
grizzly bear.
Oh.
Probably on the dire side, maybe even an elder dire. I mean, you're sweating now. You're like, I definitely didn't bring the ballista bolt to deal with this creature. It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, just based on the foot imprints and the size of the distance between the gate, you're thinking at least 20 feet.
Yeah.
From little fuzzy tail to head.
Oh, geez.
It's big.
Yeah, definitely. Copy on. Definitely have to negotiate a pay increase for this thing.
All right. How about the druid? Would the druid like to take his turn at playing detective?
And I will guidance him as well. Anybody? I'm just going to hang around the corpses. And if he comes up, to
You
look at
get
it,
a
I'm
plus
just
one.
like,
You get a +1.
Yeah, and if
Up
anyone
to the
takes
house.
and if anyone takes notice, Ferrum does seem a little more twitchy at this current moment. Just kind of.
He's muttering, "This can't be right. This can't be
No.
right. This can't be right."
I go up to our investigator, Jessica. Oh, look, they're investigating. Isn't that cute?
Save yourself.
How's
Are
it
you
being?
wounded? Or you got chewed on, didn't you?
No, I'm fine. Limp.
Mm-hmm.
Just a scratch. Yeah, I'm 16 out of 22, so.
I want to do a nature check.
All right, go for it.
Ah, 22.
All right. So are you comparing
23
stuff,
with
or
guidance.
what would you like to do with that information?
I'd just like to, see if I can figure out any more information on why they might have turned up? Any other reasons outside of the obvious? Do they seem to be sort of normal in?
Yes, it was a young pack probably, or juveniles working their way out and doing their own thing. You didn't see any foaming at the mouth. They weren't scrawny. They were well fed. Now that you're standing around and taking in the area, you do realize about an eighth of a mile away is the big pile of corpses. You are downwind from them currently. So after really paying attention to where the wolves were coming from and which direction they were heading, you think you just got in the way of them going to gorge themselves on the pile of dead cattle.
I'd like to make my way towards the cattle, and when I get there, do a little further inspection, maybe another nature check, see what's going on.
All right. Go ahead and roll that.
All right.
I knew I forgot to do something. We're streaming on the title Abomination Vaults or something. Oops. Ignore the guy, but I was double checking everything. It's just like, oh yeah, whoops.
Jeff, you take a -5 on everything you do.
I'm sorry. I welcomed everybody to Pen and Dragon Games in the chat.
All right, I'm
Name the show.
going to try and heal his wounds.
Yes, yes, please.
16.
All right. So you're at the pile. You're looking around. You're looking at them. Big claw marks. That's the first thing you notice. Very similar to the wolves. Most of them seem to have had their throats ripped out. Major organs almost chewed on completely. Heart, liver.
Good stuff.
None of the heads were actually like damaged or anything like that. Like I said, it looks like either claws raked through the throat, completely carving out that entire section with just viscerated in a single attack. You're not seeing any kind of like fighting. It looks like it happened too quickly for the animals to really run or do anything about. But definitely within the vein of a elder direwolf, or something similar to it.
So
Okay, I'm going to roll a medicine on Jeff's character, or new, while he's doing that, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
does it look like these were natural killings or magical?
They were physically done.
Okay, so natural physical. Any measures or any identifying marks of what possibly did this?
With the amount of Jeff's rolling 2d8.
Nope. She is, and
No, I am.
I got
I got
oh. perfectly. She actually matched my.
All right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Let me see if this works. We can find out. So, Cheryl, if you select Jeff's character.
Oh, did I not?
No, you did. I want to make sure that I'm curious to see do you have a thing that says like apply anything underneath the roll, or do you just have the roll? Like, do you have just the 2d8 and then the 16?
Oh, hold on.
In the chat window.
Apply.
2 health.
It says damage.
Oh, you don't have a health.
There'll be one at the other end. The little person with a plus.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. There we go.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you killed yourself. Good job. No, it's okay. We can try that again. So
I don't know if we can select each other's tokens.
So if you go to let me find your character, because there's a few. There you are. So if you select Arnu so that you have a box around him.
Yep.
Or hit the T button where you have the pointers.
Ah, yes, that's it.
There we
and
go.
then
There it is.
hit the heal button again.
Okay.
That's still doing the U.
It's
Oh,
still
that's
doing
weird.
it. Sorry.
Are
Nope,
you
it's all right.
stealth- Are
I
you
got it.
I'm just happy that
stealth-selected?
my dice are rolling.
No, that's good.
Yay.
Still things were working out. And so I added one of the modules that puts in the different actions and things you can do with your characters at the top of your, right underneath the navigation section with the camp and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
one of your actions, did you do that off of your character sheet or off the actions tab
Off the
or
The-
skills tab, I guess?
the skills stuff here.
Okay.
The shortcuts.
I just wanted to make sure it's working before we end up really using it.
Yeah, no, it's been working great.
Okay, good. So, Arnu, your fearless leader has healed you. You're feeling quite refreshed now. Your wounds are healed up. You're too bad your black breeches and boots are a little gnarled now. You got a few holes in places, but you know, you're at least not bleeding anymore. And I'm pretty sure you're back to full health. All right. So, Druid and Ranger. Well, let's go back to the Druid. You've realized that this was physically done by a creature about the size and same family possibly as either a very old non-magical wolf or dire wolf in this case. No magical residue or no wounds on them that looks magical. Are you going to possibly take this information back to the party, or are you going to continue looking around the area?
I think I'm going to continue to look around the area to see if I can find any other signs of where this dire wolf, what direction it went. I don't want to travel too far because I don't want to separate too far from the party. Just do a little more investigation before I report back.
Okay, so let's go back to the top then. Arnu, you have been healed.
Thank
You've
you.
noticed that the party is kind of wandering their own ways. The bard is talking to Stoneleaf, and the ranger seems a little scared, sweating, nervous almost even, as he's looking at one of the bigger paw prints in the dirt. What would you like to do, sir?
Yeah, if they're just investigating the general area, I'll continue to watch the horses skin the wolves until Jessica actually calls for me. But if they all like disappear in a house for a while or leave the area, then I will join in. But she's got this.
Okay. Okay.
I believe in you.
Dalen, how about you, sir?
I think I'll inquire as to why all the color has left our ranger's face.
All right.
Yes, I want to water over that way too.
So, Farum, would you like to explain to them what you have discovered?
Just kind of lean and kind of keep up with Douglas. Wait, so you thinking what I'm thinking?
The ranger has. So, Druid, the ranger is asking you a question. Do you think you are thinking what he is?
I'm not sure.
I have to get a few hunting parties together for this at the least.
I would think so.
Right.
So at this point, I'm going to explain what I've found so far.
Okay. So he explains that he thinks it's at most a very strong dire wolf, and
Oh no, you're wrong. possibly an elder bear. This is huge. Huge. You saw the paw print, didn't you? In the gate. Thing must be standing at least 2 full-grown men tall.
My good man, what is it you know about dire wolves?
Well, don't know much about wolves. Not much from where I come from.
I see. Maybe you should understand how big a dire wolf is, my friend.
How big is it?
Oh, sorry, I thought that was called for. Druid humor's really dry. Sorry, go ahead.
Elves rule. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon you're going to educate me in this.
Well, somebody is definitely going to educate you in this.
Oh, so now we've got the teacher mode for the druid is happening.
Actually, I
Everybody
thought,
watch out.
I thought that was smooth because like Corey's like, this is your world, I don't know. So he's like, he's queuing the DM for lore. It's good, man. I love it. I love it.
This is all you, Jered. So let's hear.
So
Tell me about the
I know,
world which
I know,
I grew
I
up
know.
on and no other.
So
That's pretty
the druid ends up pointing out the length of the claws and the fact that we're in the wrong area for the dire bears to be living in. We're nowhere near their hunting territory because the druids spend way too much time keeping alpha predators in their own special little area. It reminds you that we're in the north, not the south. So take a deep, deep breath because the most things that we should be running into might be 1 or 2 dire wolves with an entire pack. It's just an entire pack, so maybe 10 to 15 other wolves, with the alpha being a dire wolf. He then goes and slowly takes you around to all the attack spots of all of the animals and points out each individual paw print and pulls out a little tape and measures the paw print and then measures the claw mark and does some quick druidic math and explains to you that at most this thing is 10 feet from nose to tail, probably maybe 6 to 8 feet at the shoulder at most. And then he goes and he shows you kind of where the attacks happened, how it, when one of the animals spooked and started running away, it took it down in one clean blow, always going for the heart or the liver, never gnawing on anything else more than it had to.
After all of that, and all of a sudden there's the dawning, the sheen returns to Ferrum's eyes. They're just big doggos. He slaps Doug on the shoulder. Shit! That ain't nothing too bad to be afraid of. Oh, we're gonna shoot some big dogs, aren't we going?
Arnu, you hear the magic word, dire wolf. Dire wolf. I mean, that's like your animal spirit right there.
I can't get over how you said there's no wolves in the south, and now Ryan's Messina's accent just got like 10 times as thick. You know, it's that. That was good, man. All right. So
as the druid starts explaining things, I want the give me a survival check, Mr. Ranger. Now that all the pieces are clicking, let's get a survival check. Let's see if you can figure out where the attack originated from and maybe where the creature went.
Fair enough. There she is.
do your job.
17.
17. All right. So you realize that the animal actually came in from the west, which would be, of course, the left side of the map that we are currently looking at, and circled the house and the farm area quite a few times. Actually, you found a spot where it seems to have laid down and kept its eyes on the farmhouse for a while. Very intelligent beast is what you're getting from that. It seems to have only attacked maybe right at dusk, by the looks of the animals had all settled down. They had all seemed to have finished feed from the other markers that you've seen after talking with listening to the conversations from the bard with the farmer. And, you've got a pretty good timeline. If this happened about 2 days ago, which the druid has confirmed for you based on the damage on and decomposition on the bodies, of the livestock, you're pretty sure that yes, this attack did happen 2, at most 3 nights ago. One thing that is bothering you a little bit though is how clean, after the druid points out the wounds, the wounds are, if you cleaned up a wolf's claw marks to like perfect, to like you were actually an artist doing the marks, this is more what they would look like, not as ragged or frayed as you would expect from the initial strikes or anything else, even for dire animals. So possibly something that might be changing into one of the animals of magic, one of the magical beasts that have slowly been popping up in the past 5 years. As you're a member of one of the orders, one of the druid circles, the monasteries of the Grove, you have heard some of the whispers that animals are changing, that something believed to be possibly the magic that's starting to permeate the air that has for the past 500 years slowly changed the population is finally starting to change the animals as well. The thing that has the druid orders worried is the fact that they seem to not only change once but throughout the year. Their changes almost seem to be seasonal. So you have heard of an attack that happened about 2 months ago on a druid who had to fight some squirrels of all things. And he, in his report, explained that their skin was hard as stone. So the druids has started classifying animals based on the elemental properties that they are portraying. But sometimes they don't always seem to pop up. There seems to be a period of rest for the magic or the changes where the animal almost seems like itself. So now you're starting to think that possibly you might be at a convergence point of one of these changes. And the order really, really would like information on these things so that they can better categorize the beasts and keep track of, like they do, of the different pressures in the areas to keep the balance in the valley. And of course, you go and you speak your thoughts to the druid, and
Of course.
the druid fully agrees that now that you've pointed that out to him, this might be an opportunity to see one of these beasts become advanced even further down the evolutionary chain.
Yeah. Good time to gather some information. That information has intrinsic value.
Exactly. And of course, Mr. Druid, as you have, I'm guessing as this conversation is going on, sorry, not Druid, Bard, you're all of a sudden picked up because, again, the Bardic College, their whole thing is knowledge. You've also heard these whispers of strange animals that have changed over the course of the past 5 years, and that's part of the reason why the Bardic College allows your branch to kind of truly exist, because you're the only ones that get the stories from the normal people, from the townspeople, from as a Gleeman. You have a free hand in this information gathering, that as much as you enjoy it, you're also expected to find out these things. and report back to the college when you have the opportunity. With that said, why not give me another survival check, Mr. Ranger, and see if we can figure out where this thing has wandered off to.
Be my pleasure.
That's Mr. Ranger to you.
Ooh.
22.
All right. So over the course of the next 10, 15 minutes, you get your bearing, you find the tracks that you're actually looking for, and you're like, it went off to that direction. And you see some buildings out on the horizon. They're sticking up out of the horizon a little bit more than, say, the farmhouses or the towns off into the distance, the villages. And you point out in the direction, and I'm guessing you're going to ask, the farmer, what are those over there? And the farmer comes up and he says, that's the local mills. That's where we take all of the wheat, the barley, and for whatever quota we have to fulfill for the town, that's where we get it done. So you seem to need to be heading towards the mills. So is that, I'm guessing you convey that to the party?
Yeah, I guess we talk it over. So
Because I mean, half the party is here for one reason and the other half the party is here for another.
I'm assuming both of them are here for the same course. Find out what's going on with this.
Jessica?
The possibility is there, but I do need to go and check in with the mayor.
Geez, we
Haven't
gotta
exactly
do that.
gotten my orders from him yet.
Strange he hasn't stationed any of the city guard out here.
Young one, do you know how often we see a guard patrol out here? Like, never. Guards patrol? Please, most of the guards are stationed on the main road to make sure his precious marble gets to the capital. Sure. He's supposed to protect us, but, if it doesn't hinder his income, then he's not going to.
City tends not to care much past beyond the roads.
Basically.
Many people been attacked?
People? Well,
I know
heard.
a few. They're standing here.
I haven't heard too much.
I meant locals.
Wow, locals. Well, the farmstead was the only one. Most of the farmsteads around here lost something past 2 nights. No people have been hurt. But then again, we don't hear much from the city folk too often. They have no reason to come out here. The mayor is, so busy trying to make his large town into a small city that we don't see too many folk out from the town anymore.
The great wolf spirit's children usually attack at night. They're getting bold if they will attack at twilight. I suggest you rise early and finish your workday earlier still. Stay inside at night.
Will do. Thanks for the advice. And would you all like some rations or anything before you head out?
Oh, got any cider?
Sonny, do you not know us farmers? We always got cider. We got last year's cider. We got the year before that cider. Which one would you prefer?
The older, the better.
All right. You guys did do me a solid.
Certainly the mayor could wait. We could just, the kind farmer is rewarding us with some of his finest cider. Mm-hmm.
What time of day are we at now?
You're about a little past midday.
So I'll turn to the party and just say, might I suggest we stick around at least for this night, just to be sure nothing else comes to disturb the farmstead. be a shame if we were to push on and come back to a tragedy.
Great idea. Show us your table, farmer.
Gladly. My wife will be back shortly.
Okay.
I'm sure. We got plenty of room for everybody.
I will totally dig into these wolves, matching for mittens for everybody, that type of thing.
all right.
No piece is wasted, man. Like, even if we got to like bundle these suckers up and
well, give me an associated skill check then, sir.
Oh, you got it. I'm assuming this is more survival if we're talking about,
Yeah.
curing meats or whatever.
Unless you've got the like chef job
I
profession.
don't have any crafting. Like, as funny as that might have seemed, that we'll all have matching outfits soon.
Yeah,
That would-
they were running short on people, so they grabbed the cook to send with Jessica.
crafting of natural wood.
Oh,
Yeah.
I.
Well, let's just
You're ruining it. What are you doing?
you went from having the perfect cut steaks to ground beef.
It's what the term fur lined. You got to turn the wolf inside out, and then you make yourself a coat, and it's lined on the
But
inside.
over the time you do have time to travel, prepare
Yeah.
your 3 hides.
well, 16 for the survival to get food and get resources out of said kills.
Yep.
As far as crafting, like mittens and boots, natural 1 for 2. So yeah.
I don't know if treating hides would be classed as crafting. I would say if you were to take those hides and try to make something out of them, but just treating hides.
Yeah,
Well,
survival.
we're not getting
like you
into
said.
tanning or whatever. I just want to start prepping them. Does that make sense? Whether we
Yeah, that's
sell,
what I mean.
whether we
Like,
sell them at
that's-
market or yeah.
Yeah, you're preparing them for sale. You managed to do that very well with your 16.
Yeah, and I don't expect to like suddenly have mittens. I'm just kind of kidding. Like whatever, because we're talking like hours and days of work going into these hides. So whatever.
Yeah,
initial,
you're not curing them.
Right,
You're just preparing
whatever
them.
initial steps for for transport or leave them with the farmer for his losses and tell him he can sell them. The Great Spirit
Right,
will provide.
exactly.
You provide cider,
Oh.
and I'll provide you pelts. Here you go. And I will. I
You know,
will
you're-
ask that. I'll ask the party, gentlemen. The Great Wolf Spirit has tested you, and you have passed. You have my respect. However, I would move that we leave the worth of these carcasses. I mean, of these fallen children, to help replace this farmer's losses. Let him sell the pelts.
Anybody have the appraise skill?
Any objections?
Oh yeah. Well, objections. If there's
Objections
no
from
objection.
me.
None from the bard.
None from the druid.
All right. Well, the farmer seems mighty happy, and he, with a whistle, picks up the bundles and takes them out to his
Okay.
shed. And
A home cooked meal and shelter will serve us better than a couple of wolf pelts for
Yep.
as far as like what we need,
Right.
right? So
so the wife comes in, gets you all settled. She actually pulls out a very old-looking barrel of cider, full course meals all around.
Awesome.
You guys get a good belly full and good food. Any of you want to take watch for the night, or are we just all sleeping in the hayloft?
The druid doesn't partake in any of the cider.
We got good, clean water.
That will be perfect. And I will happily take first watch
I will also participate in the
Yes.
watch.
because I need to meditate a little bit, practice my martial skills, and this will be a good time to do these things.
I'll pick up after Douglas.
Yeah, I'll take third. Do my morning prayers at the end of said watch.
All right, so let's go with the first watch. On the first watch, who do we have?
That would be me.
Just you. All right. Rock, papers, or scissors?
How about rock?
Spock.
Yeah, I got the dice for rock,
Spock.
paper, scissors, Spock. Huh? Serious? Look, check it out. Rock, paper, scissors, Spock.
Rock,
Alright.
paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Yeah, I'm telling you. These are official
We'll
now.
roll it.
Okay, well,
And then-
so DM, what's you're black and he's red, we'll say?
Yeah, that works.
All right.
I'm surprised. Actually, I'm not surprised you have the dice for that. not,
Okay.
not at all.
It's not just that he has the dice; he has the dice on hand.
Yeah. He's been waiting a really long time to use these.
I have used these before.
I was going for a an off-the-cuff comment expecting nothing, but well, what can I say?
2 Spocks. So I guess I just roll again? Yeah. Let me
Oh,
try
yeah.
it again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tie,
No, it's
Tie?
it's okay. So we move on to the next watch. Who's the next watch?
That'd be Ferrum.
All right, again, Mister.
2 papers. What the hell?
All right, so again, you're
Okay,
So,
here we go.
early
Here
morning.
we go.
All right.
Lizard and Ryan and me. I get scissors. So what we get is Lizard is paper. No, no.
Lizard? Oh, you just got your head cut off.
Scissors decapitates lizard. So I'm scissors. I'm red.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Me.
all right.
Win.
Again, you heard some rustling out early morning, but as you walked the property and looked around, it was just some birds off in the distance. Seemed to be over by the pile of dead animals. Must be carrion of some sort. Every now and then you get a blue flash, but nothing overly crazy.
Are casting spells. Run.
So it is the following morning. You have had a good night's rest, so make sure you heal yourselves up as you need be.
Did I mention
Uh,
venerating the Great Wolf Spirit does involve a little bit of howling? Just saying.
Okay, so instead of a
Good morning.
instead of a rooster that wakes
Yeah.
everybody up, we've got the howling of a madman. So no, yeah, you guys, yeah, that's what you wake up to. It's amazing.
Hey Bard, check out
Um,
that moo. Sorry.
So, following morning, you got a decision to make. Jessica, you have made it clear that you need to go check in. You have been talked into procrastinating on that quite well, I would say. It's almost like Arnu knows how to get what he needs out of this journey. He heard cider, and you guys spent the night.
Oh, come on. No. It was like, let's go see the mayor. Let's help the farmers. And then the Great Wolf Spirit sent me wolves to test my new brethren. No, it's all good. Like, come on. I'm not giving that one up.
Okay,
Cider,
All right,
cider
so-
was a bonus.
I have a question.
sure.
During this overnight, I have 3 remaining hit points. Do I gain them back?
Yes.
Yes, you would.
Because I believe it's your Constitution modifier plus your level on a night's rest, full night's rest.
You're down to
Something to that
3, or
effect.
you only have 3 wounds left?
No, I have 3 wounds left.
Oh,
I have
okay.
17 current of my max of 20. So my Constitution modifier is a +2, and I'm level 1, so I should gain 3. Is that correct?
Correct.
Perfect. So I'm back at full hit
It's
points.
actually multiplied by your levels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so I pick up 2 then.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm at
That was
19.
close. All right.
Close enough.
At first, it sucks, but as you level, it
It
gets
gets that
better.
much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
So, Jessica, as one of the party leaders in this now multi-party group, we know you want to go to the city and talk to the mayor. You've heard what the farmer has to say about him. You've heard Henry's opinion on him a little bit. The old druid hasn't shown up this entire time. You might find that interesting. You might not.
Well,
But-
he said he would be back.
Yep. And it's been almost 12 hours, a little bit over 16 probably actually since you last saw him.
Everybody say good.
And then
Everybody say goodnight, Coop. Thanks for watching.
good night, Coop.
Night.
Thanks
Good
for
night,
watching.
Coop. See you later, Coop. Have a good night.
So that leaves also Douglas. You have a direction towards the animal that caused this damage. But you have heard that Jessica needs to go and report in. What would you like to do at this point then?
Well, I don't think that I would like to split the party. So let's make a mental note of which direction and where we're going, and let's go and report in. And I suggest that if we are able, that we come back and return to follow this animal and see if we can figure out some more about what's going on.
Okay. So if we all want to jump over to Marcia, the map for the local town. So Marcia, currently run by a Manric de Marcia the 12th, or so he's claiming he is the 12th. You've now heard from two people. He likes to give airs on his importance. However, Arnu, after reading the message and the request form and thinking hard on the Council of Strength and the positions and where this man must fall, is very excited to talk to this mayor because he feels that it is going to elevate his own status if they get this done correctly. So we got a bunch of mixed views so far, and you need to head into the town and see what's going on. And does anybody are we just going straight to the mayor's abode, or is someone want to go check out one of the other districts, or we all going to the mayor's abode?
Jessica, was there this guy got an office that we're supposed to, like the daytime mayor job, or do we just go to his home?
Wherever the letter says that I was supposed to go,
City
that's
hall.
where we go.
Is there like a city hall?
It's basically his house. He's turned his home into city hall.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we've taken long enough to get here, so yeah, I would just go there.
Wakey.
I'd like to make a quick run to the Druid quarter.
There is no Druid quarter.
You should have gone before we left. What?
Hey, is there any Druid? Do I have any Druid connections in town?
Just Henry. That was who you were sent to go meet, because Henry is a wandering Druid with a great deal of respect in the circles. Now that after you got done the little foot dance to confirm that he is who he says he is, you noticed that there was a few moves that he did that only the higher ups in one of the monasteries would know. And no, this isn't the Druids do not make outposts in towns or cities or anything close to civilization. Usually they're normally found semi-remote in high density wilderness areas. You and the ranger are considered a questing company, young, being sent out just to help these other druids, these wandering druids, with their own problems and to promote the druid order and keep the normal people happy while maintaining the very fragile ecosystem that is Rulux Valley, because you've got all these people packed in, closed off from the rest of the world, and the Druid Order wasn't very happy with the way the councils were going, so that's why they branched off so many thousands of years ago from the actual councils themselves and formed their own thing, bringing with them the rangers and the monks. So no, you will not find a haven, a true haven here. The closest thing that would would be the Ancestors' Rest. And since the mayor seems to have been pressured into actually putting one in his town, he either is making a lot of money or he was trying to appease somebody he irritated, is your guess. Because like Henry, you've seen what he's done. He's deforested huge swaths of land to increase the production of his farms, and so that his workers can get fed. So you've already got kind of a bad notion with this man, if that answers anybody else's questions.
So don't let the druid lead.
Yes.
Is there a chapter for the Bardic College here in town?
Yes, a small one. A local school.
Yeah. Well, I would stop by quickly just to drop off the notes that I accumulated from my time in the Grove, so I don't have to lug them around with me and have them ship it off to headquarters. And maybe just try and see what I can pick up for like rumors or information.
Okay. Give me your associated roll for that. Whatever you've got. Charisma if you don't have anything that's
Diplomacy, maybe.
diplomacy if you want to. Yeah, I'll allow diplomacy. Go ahead.
Natural 20.
Dang, you are on
27.
fire tonight.
Booyah.
All right. So after dropping off, not even after dropping off, as soon as you get in the door and the bardess behind the counter sees you, she gets all excited because first off, you're a gleeman. You have stories. She's a scholar, and she seems to really need some information because she's in a large town, really small city, large town, and she looks a little haggard. Like what she expected this to be is not the assignment she wanted. So she's full of gossip. Like she is like the crossroads of the gossip mill.
Of course she is. Okay.
And
I'll tap her for information, take notes.
The big thing you find out is the current mayor's father, who's passed away a while ago, one of his first tasks that he was given by his father when he was a young lad was to redesign a district. And in doing so, set the entire district on fire. So hence why the Smoke District hasn't ever been renamed or rebuilt, is because the mayor never saw fit to do that. After even the previous mayor, some say that he did it on purpose to see how much of the district would burn before either the town actually tried to put it out, or because some fool idiot dropped a lamp in the middle of the night, and because of the way the district was designed, the entire place went up like kindling. But ever since then, and this was almost 15 years ago, nobody has gone in to rebuild. So it's kind of turned into the poor district, the slums of this town. There's still good people. She lets you know that there's still good people there. There isn't too much in the way of crime in the area, because most of the people end up have to work at the quarry. They all seem to, it's not that they're extremely happy, but they don't have too many worries. She does inform you that there's a little bit more unrest because the workers aren't going back to the quarry until the mayor gets the attacks figured out, because apparently some of the workers were killed at the quarry. So he is apparently been pacing and spending a lot of time at the nicer inn, complaining that his workers aren't making him profit, and he has, no matter how he tries to persuade them, he can't get anybody to work, and he's upset about
very, very much a jerk.
Yes,
not so much for the people.
No,
very much for himself. Okay.
He's contemplating renegotiating something, and a lot of little things, but primarily the most recent gossip mill is the fact that these attacks happened at the quarry, and the mayor is beside himself that his product isn't going to the capital. The last of his inventory left about a week ago. It's probably what you saw on your way in, the smaller and smaller carts as it went by. So you're realizing he's probably not going to be in a good mood.
Okay. I will relay that information to Jessica.
All right.
And I'll relay it to the whole party. Just say, hey, maybe we should be on our best behavior. We don't want to push this guy's buttons. He seems very stressed out over these things. So, perhaps we should tread lightly.
So Anybody else want to do something in town real quick before we head off to the mayor's abode?
Jessica, are we roundabouting with these guys? Like, kind of escorting them, drop this, do this, or are we bolting straight to the... It's up to you. If you, if you think they're in the
we'll
window.
go with them.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I also need to get bolts too, so
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, the Bardic College was one of the first nicer buildings that you see in the trade district. You're right in this new prosperous area. These houses are uniformed. They're nice. The people are smiling and happy. It's an up and coming trade district.
Yeah.
There are plenty of things to be found. One of the things though is it's not like a major city. So there's one major shop for all things that you could possibly need, but nothing too extravagant. So you could theoretically, on your way in, stop and pick up the essentials. You know, the bread,
Okay.
the cheese, the milk. So if there's anybody
yeah,
who
I think
needs,
the only thing I need is bolts.
Ammo.
So I don't know if
Ammo.
anybody else needs anything. So, or arrows, I mean. Ugh.
Yeah, ammo for...
No,
I'm
I
still
need
pretty good
both.
on the arrow prep.
Do you have a this character has a
All right.
crossbow. Your other character has a bow, yeah.
Right.
Well, it was just the other night we were talking about ammunition. Yeah,
So yeah, if you've got the change and the silver and you need some stuff, go ahead, spend it. You've got the time. And unless there's anything that you want to ask specifically of a vendor or the regular common people as you're doing that, we can move on to the mayor's abode. Anybody?
No, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Good deal.
There's nothing to see here. Move
Okay.
along.
So, on your way into the transitioning from the new trade district to the mayor's abode, the first thing that you notice is the walkway goes from really decent paving stones to this it's immaculate. It's one of the most interesting stones you've all seen that has been used for pavers. It's almost blood red with white veins through it. This marble, no wonder he's making a killing over this. I mean, he's using it to line the road that leads to his house. And then when you get there, the marble just in the entryway, the patio that he's made that has a few buildings attached to it, it's all in this marble. I mean, he's got these really elegant bronzed gates that go around the entire fence that goes around the entire place. There are some very spit and polished gate guards watching you approach, but as you look through the gate, like I said, this marble, he's definitely got a thing for this marble. He's obsessing over it almost. Like I said, his entire lot of land that he seems to have quarantined himself off of is been completely put down with these marble paving stones, basically, to give you an idea. And he's got two enormous fountains. That one is made out of the marble itself, and then another one is made out of probably something imported, but it's gorgeous. And
As
go
we're
ahead.
walking on, you just hear from Ferrum. Well, seems that this mayor guy is definitely a modest individual.
Fancy. Leon, I turn to my horse. Try not to leave any apples or, cider.
And at the gate, you got your two guards, and like I said, these guys, they're practically wearing full plate, and they've got pikes, and their helmets are down, and they're looking at you, and they're like,
Okay.
"What would you like?"
I dismount, leave the lady high on her horse, and stride up, present paperwork.
The guard looks at it, hands it back. Fair warning, he's in a foul temper. Y'all better watch yourself.
Is there a time of day that he's in a better temperament after his bath or nappy or something?
The guard looks at the other guard. Then looks at your party. Yeah. I'm guessing the two woodsy looking fellas are from the one of the monasteries? One of Henry's friends?
I formally introduced them with respect, actually. This is the aspiring druid Douglas, who has already fought for your farmers. His companion, Farum, the wise ranger from the south. I forget the bard's name.
You hear that, Sam? Our peasants, our villagers. The guard actually puts his visor up, and you're seeing a very weary, hard-bitten man who looks like he's regretting a few decisions. And he just looks at you and goes, "Inspectors, let me explain something to you. I'm not here because I want to be here. That man back there in the mayor's house hired us. We're from the capital. One of the companies that freelances when people are needed. I'm here because that fool is paying me practically my boot's weight in silver a month to stand at this gate and make it official looking. He's got such high expectations of himself, of what this is going to turn into. The last thing he wants is snags in his run. And let me tell you, there's only 4 of us here. The rest of his guard are no better than bully boys. We guard this gate and the east gate. And we camp up at the inn at the end of our shifts. He doesn't even let us into his own personal servants' quarters to stay.
I look at his boots to see how much silver that would hold, and then just like obviously eyeball him, like I'm wondering if he's worth all that silver and how many other soldiers he could actually get for said boot. Well, he's politely
go ahead and make a if you've got a appraisal or a nobility society.
I have some legal and society.
Society would help you figure that out.
Okay.
Are these people worth it? Because there are a few organizations.
Look, we're not looking to, make your job less secure, but you got to remember, farmers feed cities.
Yeah. You know what else feeds cities? Trade. So long as the food here still comes and we still get our pay, we're going to be here. All right.
That would be
so
8. 8 society.
With an 8. Well, with that said, how about
I don't know.
high or low,
I
sir?
agree with him because I don't know any better.
High or low?
Low.
Very good.
8.
Well,
You got an 8.
yeah, I got an 8 too. All right.
2 double rocks, 2 double spocks, 2 double papers, and now an 8. I love it. So
Yes.
It's
So
a glitch in the matrix, guys.
yeah, I tell you.
after a quick look at the man, down at his boots, around, there isn't any signs or pieces of information that really stick out. Yes, he is a well-funded individual. By the looks of his equipment, it's well maintained, but none of his equipment stands out to you.
Okay.
Likely based on, since a lot of things are done by contract, if they're contracted, they're going to do their job to the contract. They're not going to go out of their way. They're there to fulfill their contract.
Yeah,
and then
I get it.
they'll either
Like,
move on
the
or
guy's a working
go-
grunt, not unlike myself.
Correct.
It was just the opening, like when they lean in and say, "Let me tell you something," and you've always got to like put in 2 cents. But I don't want to drag this, and I don't want to rile the guards. But I'll hear him out
So
and get, try and
yeah.
press along. Now, will he let all of us in just with the paperwork that states 2, or this is like open-ended paperwork where whoever presents and said party?
No, it's basically just a request form,
Okay.
and it's up to the head investigator to determine what that party makeup is. You were sent out as a team, but what members she determines can go with her, no one's going to question.
Oh, cool.
That's how these parties always work for the investigators. They pull in the resources they need, either through their own personal bank or through the stipend they're given from the order.
Assets for the mission.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's up to her.
Okay.
Well,
I'll hear this guy out, and then we'll.
Yeah, the guard does strongly suggest you either dress up the ranger and the druid so they look more of the higher classes, or maybe even from one of the other 2 circles. You could probably get. He says you could probably get the ranger to look like one of the Council of Strength, but the druid's definitely not going to look like he's from that. So maybe the Council of Wisdom or the Bardic College, since you already have one bard, maybe not. But I would not go in there with him with both of them acting like they are actually from one of the monasteries of the Grove. That is his last piece of advice. Closes the helmet and just keeps looking straight ahead.
Okay. Come back to the guys. You heard all that?
Yeah, he's not exactly the quiet type.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, you've been tested. So, if you guys want to buy into that and get some clothes, we'll wait. But I'm not going to ask you. You guys are worth your salt as far as I'm concerned.
I see no reason for the 3 of us to go meet with this mayor. Unless you'd like
However,
me to maybe...
I would like you to come. Good Bard, I would like you to come.
I am quite adept at
It's
entering
fine.
into introductions.
I made a couple of friends down at the tavern.
Okay. And the druid?
The water there was delicious.
They do have good water.
I'll go to the tavern.
And the kale. Come on.
All right. So
I'll actually give
We'll
them some
start-
coin. Thanks for understanding.
yeah.
I'll buy them first round.
Well, I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
All right.
He hands up.
So you guys go off to the tavern, and then our investigators are going in to meet the mayor. So you pass through the gate, and like I said, the marble is just pristine. You could probably spend hours just staring at the intricacy of the vein work and the white, and how whoever designed this did a masterful job.
Okay.
And as you're walking in, you see that he has built some kind of diplomatic residence for visiting diplomats, and he seems to have his own personal servants' quarters that is completely detached from the original.
This is what we look on the
manor.
map here where it says Mayor's Abode. These are like
Yes.
several buildings. It's like a big marble tile floor we got going on there.
Yes,
Oh, it's-
exactly. I mean, and the gates, like I said, are all bronze. I mean, bronze is mostly kept for the weaponry, because that is something we haven't really touched on. Is most of the weapons in this game so far are all bronze. They're Bronze Age. Iron is very hard to come by.
So if you see somebody
So-
wielding an iron weapon, there's money in that type of deal.
Or steel. Like it's
Steel,
not
yeah.
that they don't know how to make that stuff. It's just the mines haven't really produced any of that, and the mines that do produce iron have been basically bought up by the Council of Strength. There's only 4 of them, and those resources are strictly, almost completely kept to their members.
Yeah. Control a
Um,
resource, control the people.
Yeah, in a way, yes. But they do have very good, with the help of the alchemists, and scholars, they have been able to make the bronze almost identical
Okay.
to steel in strength. It's more like if we got into breaking weapons and damaging things, it's more of a hit points than a hardness thing. If that helps. I mean,
Yeah, no,
I
that's a
don't-
good way to describe it within the realms of the mechanics.
So like I said, the fact that he's got guards that are in full plate steel guarding his abode, but will not give them a place to stay inside of his own quarters, that right there is sending certain flags off in the the bard and
Yeah.
Arnu's.
Yeah, they go barefoot. You
Fine.
can tell when it's payday.
So as you come up again, a servant comes hustling out. Yes. Can I help you? Can I help you?
Okay.
What can I do for
now
you?
that I've got through like the security, as it were, I'll actually change my position and be off of her right shoulder and let her lead, as the important person.
Okay, so I just give him my paperwork as well.
Okay. He quickly grabs it. Ah, yes, finally. Yes. We've been waiting for a month for this. Damn investigators. Ugh. Take their good old time. Come on. He doesn't have all day.
Excuse me?
And he just turns on his heels and walks on back in.
This is going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. You get the bard with you, don't you? I've done my bit.
So again,
I'll be good.
the place is immaculate. The floors are polished and shining. There's a literal burgundy carpet going down the center of this. If you didn't know better, recently modified entry chamber to almost look like a castle or a kingdom. It's a ruler's abode. And even the big giant blackwood doors with intricate silver and gold inlay. I mean, and then the man who introduced you walks up to another guy who's got a big old staff, and it's made out of the marble itself too, with a gemstone on the top, and he hands off the paperwork and goes down off another side. And you now realize this guy's actually made himself, has a seneschal, basically.
I have a quick question. Like the outer gates,
Yes.
were they like in okay repair? Because he's securing,
Yeah, no, everything
he's
is
securing
like,
the town, not just his own building.
that's the weird thing. Everything facing the road that you came in on,
Yeah.
new doors, new construction, new towers. Like he increased
Yeah.
the defenses
showing off the trade lane.
on the exactly, almost tripling. If you spent time to really and counted, you would be guessing somewhere between doubling and tripling
Yeah.
the defenses on that side.
They call it beautifying the main strip. Our own town did this to attract tourists. You make the main drag all pretty with flowers and red cobblestones. It looks great. And then it fades out from there because it's where all your traffic and your mercantile is. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So, sorry. So Jessica and we're following. I will repeat what the ranger said. When we get inside the lobby. Shiny.
Yeah.
I'll kind of, as we're heading in, give a little tug on Jessica's sleeves and just lean in and say, "You may want to try appealing to his vanities. It may make things go a little smoother here in dealings with him."
So
Thank you.
the seneschal kind of looks at you. He's got a blank face. Oh, you're ready to proceed.
Yes.
That goes right over my head, and you leans in the bard's like, it's not like she's here to buy him dinner.
And so the seneschal, because there's nothing else that he could possibly be, goes up to the doors, raps on them 3 times, and they swing open. He takes 3 smooth steps out onto this again. This time it's almost like all of the white marble has red veins in it now. Like it's the flip-flop of the entryway and all of the stone out in the main courtyard. it's like he probably spent an entire year combing through his supplies just to make this room. And at the end of it, he's a little dais, actual dais, and the Seneschal comes up and pounds again 3 times with his staff, and the sound of marble hitting marble, that stone on stone, clear, almost like tuning fork sound. And he goes, Marquis de Marcia, the 12th, 57th of the Council of Strength, expander of Marcia, and founder of... He looks around real quick. The Quarrymen's Guild. That's one. Yes. I'm here to present to you the investigators. Yes. Good day. And he steps off to the side and lets you, and you see him for the first time. This man is short and stocky, big barrel belly. He seems to be trying to be growing a mustache, but it seems to only be coming in maybe on one side, maybe not. He's got some straggly hair. He's definitely wearing what would be the capital city's most finest, elegant styles right now, but it doesn't fit him at all. He's trying, you can see it. And it doesn't even take a blind man could see it. Does anybody want to make a perception check?
I'm game.
Heck yeah.
Thought we left you behind.
Yeah, Doug, you're
Yeah, you're not.
The
here.
kale is
I'm
delicious.
He's looking in the window. He didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
He's watching our back. You go around the back, and
What a good perception to roll too. Look at
Ah,
that.
like I got a 27. Okay, I'm just all excited.
I got a 21.
20.
So as your eyes get and your ears get over that introduction and the fact that this man who looked like a seneschal, acted like a seneschal, was literally fumbling over his words once he had to start speaking, kind of shows you that this man might have been picked up off the street, given a few quick dirty lessons, and given the position. But the man, this whole it's an auditorium almost. And you can see some of the old structure has turned the antechamber of, and probably several other rooms of the old manor house into this monstrosity.
is there anybody here? Like, is this like a salon setting where there's, well, like, you know, like a small court, you know, that type of thing, or is he alone?
Yeah, there are people there, but they're not what you're expecting. These guys, you almost have to do a double take. Especially since you're a champion, you get the itchy fingers feeling of, I need to be grabbing my sword. These guys are thugs. These guys are bully boys. They're no professional anything. You can just tell by the way they're lounging over all the furniture that's in this place. There's probably 40 of them. They're all just lounging like it's a clubhouse type of deal. And like I said, Marcia, the 12th, is sitting there, and at the edge of his throne, because there's no better word for it, he's got a giant axe that has an axe head on one side and a ball peen hammer style head on the other. And he's just lounging there, one leg up over the side of the throne, and just kind of glaring at you. And that's where we're going to end it for the night, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully our party doesn't make a, you know...
I'm smart enough to know not to eyeball the thugs, you know, eyes forward.
So hopefully the party can live through this negotiation. So until next time.